Many thanks for your company. And our residents of Frafraha in Accra woke up this morning to find their homes and other properties demolished. Now, the exercise, which was conducted by the State Housing Authority, has angered victims. Venting their frustrations to Joy News reporter Maxwell Agbagba, who was at the site this morning, the affected residents revealed the State Housing Company failed to give them any notification and threatened to take legal action.
At Denta Frafraha, specifically we are at Frafraha here, and we understand that some demolition happened early this morning. We didn't come to meet the heavily armed police officers who were here to ensure that the demolition was, carried out. We understand they left about 30 minutes ago, together with the earth-moving machines that came here to, demolish the structures here. A lot of them, some of them high, one-story buildings. Some of them also single rooms. Different structures, have been demolished here, and we still have some people around, wondering how the people came in here to demolish the buildings. They say they believe they are from the State Housing Company Limited. One of the people whose house was demolished is a member of parliament for South Dai, Honorable Roxon Dofiamakwa. He's here with me, and I want him to join us to tell us exactly what happened, whether he was here when the demolition happened. Mr. Dofiamakwa, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, at what point did you get information that your building was also, affected here?
Yes, that's my building in the background, the rubble that you see. It's a 3-story building which is being roofed at the roof stage. We're just waiting to put the finishing touches. This was a land we got from the chiefs. In any case, if State Housing thinks that this is their land, and it's been encroached upon, the due process of law is there. You have to go to court so that I come and defend my interest in the land. You just don't wake up one day and bring an earth-moving machine and pull down my building without any recourse to me. I've been placing a call to the MD since yesterday. I've sent him messages, he will not answer. I've called all the powers that be. That this thing, the MP, my colleague, Yabuabian Samoa, was with me this dawn. And he was also helpless. Nobody will answer. And it's a very pitiful situation that you claim that the land is for you, you move in with bulldozer. And look, this construction didn't happen in a day. This construction is over a 2 years period. And so if you don't wait for somebody to dig a foundation, pour concrete, put iron rods, roof, and then you come and say it's yours. No, you have acquiesced. I am not saying by any stretch of imagination that I didn't get this land properly. I got the land through the appropriate vendor. And so if another entity, which is a state institution, if you think, look, I don't think this is a demolition, quad demolition. This is a targeted demolition.
What makes you think it's a targeted demolition? The State Housing Company saying that you've encroached on their lands.
Look at the buildings around. There's a building behind you. There are so many buildings. Look at how a building that is before me has been spared, because they told me that he placed a call to somebody and they gave instructions that building should be left out. It's only 4 buildings that have been pulled down. This one, the other one, mine, and some other one. What they did was because they didn't want the thing to look like a targeted demolition, then they broke a few fence walls and left.
I'm sure they gave you prior notice before they came to do this.
Nothing. I speak to you. When I spoke, there's a chap called Soa. He claimed to be the surveyor from State Housing. When I spoke to him, he said, Honorable, I am speaking to you because I respect you. Otherwise, I won't speak to you. I have nothing. I just have instructions from my company to come and do the demolition. If you are aggrieved, go to court. And walked off. Just like that. I live at Achimota. I got here from at about 4:30 when my developer called me yesterday night to say that this was the intelligence he had picked up that this will happen. I couldn't believe it, because I even thought that, look, 2 police vehicles and soldiers were here, and I have the numbers of the vehicle. I'm a legal practitioner. If you get a judgment from a court with a writ of possession order, and you even want to recover your land, the processes that you go through the police before they give you 3 personnel or 4 personnel, it is not a joke.
A commercial bus traveling along Teshi Beach Road towards Labadi has crashed into the Teshi Lagoon around Labadi Beach Hotel after it veered off the metallic bridge. According to police at the scene, out of the 5 passengers on board the vehicle, 2 cannot be accounted for. 3 have been rushed to the 37 military hospital for treatment. The incident, which happened a couple of hours ago, is currently holding many commuters using the beach road in heavy traffic. Join News' Jennifer Kwamo was at the scene and joins me here with more. All right, Jennifer, so just a brief description for people who are not too familiar with the road. Where exactly did this accident occur?
Okay, so heading into the Teshinungwa community, there is a double road. It's called the Beach Road, okay? And on one side, you see the Labadi Beach Hotel, and on the other side is the lagoon, obviously. Now, to move to the Kofi Annan International Peacekeeping Training Center, which is where ASP Stella Ewo says the trotro was heading to, you have to go along on the right-hand side of the road, at least where the Labadi Beach Hotel is. Now, according to an eyewitness, the driver was speeding, and instead of going straight, he veered off the road sharply into the left-hand side, which is the side of the road where the Accra and circle-bound commercial vehicles and commuters heading into the center of the city. That's the side of the road that they take. So he veered into that side of the road, crashed into the lagoon. Now, according to eyewitnesses, the 33-seater Sprinter bus went as far as into the middle of the lagoon before the towing service was called, and they were able to push it onto the edge of the lagoon. As you can see over there, they are still trying to pull the Sprinter bus out. They've been struggling with it since 4 a.m. this morning.
Okay, so this happened sometime at dawn.
Yes.
And well, as Jennifer is explaining, this vehicle you're seeing now has been moved out of the lagoon as you see it now. So it was deep inside. But what can you tell us more about the 2 who are unaccounted for?
Well, that is currently the mystery that the police and the MTTU are trying to solve, because the driver and 2 other passengers are currently at 37 Military Hospital receiving treatment. But the 2 other bodies at the moment, they have no idea their whereabouts. So speaking to ASP Stella Ewo, she said that they will conduct a more thorough search, and the investigator is also at the scene of the accident right now, and we'll be calling them shortly for more updates on the other 2.
All right. Curiously, the police wasn't there when this occurred. So based on whose information are they working for in terms of the number of people in the vehicle? Because at the time the police wasn't there.
They were not
Who
there.
are they hearing this information that 5 passengers were on board?
So that was the eyewitness who was at the scene when it happened. According to what ASP told me, the eyewitness called the owner of the vehicle because his details are on the side of the Sprinter bus, and the owner also called a towing service to try and pull the vehicle out. And what happened was they moved it up to the edge, and that's what they are still struggling with. So it's this eyewitness accounts that they are working with at the moment.
Well, has the police been saying anything else?
Well, at the moment, they're still conducting their investigations, and we will be following up with them for more details on the state of the 2, the state of the 3 who are currently in the hospital, and what exactly caused this accident.
Before you go, we know this has also affected commuters on that stretch. What's the traffic situation now?
Very thick. You know, that road, it was expanded to be a dual carriageway to account for the heavy traffic moving from Sakomono, Nungwa, and Teshi into the city center. But because of the accident, people are slowing down. They are trying to see what exactly happened, and ASP has called more reinforcements to try and control the traffic so it can move more quickly.
Thank you very much, Jennifer Kwamo, giving us some updates on that particular accident that occurred earlier today involving a Sprinter bus, and the bus was believed to have crashed into the Teshi Lagoon, and we'll be bringing you updates surely on that particular matter. But still to come in this package, we'll bring you up close with the first scholar, Ghanaian scholar, who has a PhD in Chi. You're watching Joy News today with me, Bernice Abu Bedu. Now, pursuing a degree at any level in the university is not a walk in the park. It becomes even more complex when you decide to study a Ghanaian language after years of receiving tuition mainly in English. In the United Nations Education for All report, illiteracy is defined as the inability to speak and read one's own language. I'm sure you're beginning to ask yourself if you're indeed literate. Well, you're not alone, because even though UNESCO has encouraged mother tongue instruction since 1953, monolingualism is official or dominant languages, which in our case is English, continues to be the norm around the world. Well, here's Dr. Nana Enumariafia Kenton, the first Chi PhD holder who completed her entire dissertation in Chi.
When I was a little girl in primary school, the chief of my town then, the late Ohemen Kwetia, Gilbert Ankra, he used to be a news presenter on GTV. And anytime they are coming to broadcast the news, if you know, we remember, it starts with a sick tune, Oba, Obema, Oba, Obema, and he will come, or a lady will come. And I used to really love and enjoy that. And that inspired me a lot. And I said, when I grow up, I'll become a news presenter. But me, I will not become an English news presenter, but I'll become a Chi, news presenter. Then they all burst into laughter, as we are doing now, because it was, uncommon then to hear the news being presented in the local language, let me say, like in the Ewe, the Ga, or in Chi. So it was very funny then. But with the love for it, that is what I pursued. And now I'm a broadcaster in the Akan, and I love teaching too. But all the time I wanted to teach my local language. So I learned, so I learned that to the higher level. And being a news broadcaster in Akan, I'm also a lecturer, a teacher at the University of Education, Akan and Zima department, when I teach the language and teach most of the subject in Chi. Yeah, something like, let's say, methodology, for instance, we say, Jumedi hua kwanchere, and then someone, no. Yeah, akwanchre, that is the direction, so you use that method to direct you, to show you how you go about the work, how you do your selection of the radio stations, then even the interviewees, and how you do the analysis of the data. Theoretical framework is called Jumedienu Nyinaso. So that is the framework that you use to do the analysis, so that somebody will not say that, or challenge you that it's your own opinion, it's your own views, it's your own analysis. So I used a framework which guided me. So that theoretical framework is the Jumedieni Nyenaso.
Very interesting keywords there for methodology and theoretical framework. I'm sure you didn't know about that. The fuller interview is online. You can catch a glimpse of it there. Away from that, some Queen Mothers in the Central region want knowledgeable and experienced persons in the region to be elected as assembly members to hold the various assemblies accountable. The Queen Mothers find it appalling. The position of assembly members has been left to people they refer to as incompetent, lacking the necessary expertise to entrench the country's democracy. Speaking on a Star Ghana Coast TV partnership on how to deepen democracy at the grassroots level, the traditional authorities also bemoaned how the various assemblies fail to consult their electorate and the traditional authorities before executing projects. Richard Kojonyako was there and has filed this report.
So this project is actually a partnership between Coastal Television based in Cape Coast and then Star Ghana, and it's about deepening democracy among the levels of the District Assembly. And they've gathered here traditional authorities and other many stakeholders that are in the Central region. They are talking about the responsibilities and the role of assembly members who we elect and their mandates after the elections. So after the deliberations and engagement, it emerged that some of the Queen Mothers were dissatisfied with the level of the people that represent the people at the assembly level.
I really have an issue with the standard of education of some of them. You understand? I'm not saying all of them in general. I mean, I can point to one or two that I cannot believe that these are the people that are taking our so-called cases to government, like problems that we have, because they cannot even communicate. I don't even know how they became assemblymen. And I'll give you my reason why. Because years ago, I remember when it came up that, they were going to elect or vote for assemblymen and women. And I remember saying to somebody, oh, that's a good opportunity for me. This is before I became a Queen Mother. A good opportunity for me to take up such a position and see what I can do for the community. And immediately was like, no, that's not your level. And I was like, what do you mean it's not my level? In other words, what they're saying is, you're too educated for that level. Hey, I mean, since when did it become like this? So I said, so who is supposed to take the position? Men and women. I'm not saying all. Some are very good. Some know exactly what they're doing and they're helping their communities. But I have seen some that are like, it's very frightening.
Some of the Queen Mothers also complain about the failure of the Assembly in consulting the traditional authorities before projects are executed.
With the traditional authorities are sad because it's like we don't exist. Most of the time, it is the politicians who dictate. By the time they've already taken the decision. And this is bringing a whole lot of confusion. They do projects and they pass it through the assembly members. Or it is this party who is doing it, it is this person who is doing that. So it is very, very important that now we know that before, we are not saying they are not doing their jobs. They are doing it, but they should communicate with the opinion leaders, the traditional leaders, and then also the people down there, the stakeholders, so that together we all put our heads together, and then because sometimes they will build markets, and then you see that the market will be there. Nobody will be in the market.
So I've got the project coordinator with me here.
Why we chose Fontom From as the title for this particular project. Fontom From is a peculiar drum that if you don't know how to dance to it, you don't dance it. Maybe you just listen to it and then you enjoy it. But then if you know how to dance to it and then you dance appropriately, it's great. And that is what we are saying, that when we talk about democracy, it's about everybody getting involved. Otherwise, you just sit back after elections. What next? After electing our assemblymen and women and all that, what next? What are the assemblies supposed to be doing for us as a people? What role do we have to play in ensuring that there's equity, there is responsiveness? I mean, the assemblies, for instance, are really up and doing.
From Cape Coast, my name is Richard Kwejo for Joy News.
Well, President Akufo-Addo is a special guest of a commemorative program celebrating the 70th anniversary of the formation of the first political party in Ghana, the United Gold Coast Convention, UGCC. The event, part of activities marking the Ghana at 60 celebration, was used to highlight roles played by the founding fathers of the UGCC towards Ghana's independence. Elton Brobe joins us live from the central regional town of Salt Pond with more. Hello, Elton.
Yes, hi. The church service just ended some few minutes ago here at the Wesley Cathedral Church at Salt Pond. Now, the significance of this day is that some 70 years ago, some group of intellectuals met here in the central regional town of Salt Pond to chart a new path towards Ghana's independence. And that led to the formation of the United Gold Coast Convention, the first political party in Ghana 70 years ago. Now, that struggle led to the present Ghana, where we had independence in 1957. Now, 70 years the line, the MPP, an offshoot of the UGCC, came here to celebrate the contribution of the founding fathers of Ghana towards the independence of this country. A while ago, President Akufo-Addo, who just read a Bible verse in commemoration of the day, called on Ghanaians to be united behind this day in charting a new lease of life into the world. Now, the Most Reverend Emmanuel Asantiochi, the former presiding bishop of the Methodist Church, who delivered the sermon, called on members of the MPP, especially the vigilante group, the Delta and the Invisible Forces, to cease their activities and allow the government the freedom and the space to operate. He also called on the government to look at the economic potentials of Salt Pond as it develop the country and create more jobs for the people. Now, what I'm picking is that right after this church building, President Akufo-Addo will walk out and then head towards the very building in which the Big Sis, together with Power Grant and others, met to decide the future of the country, which led to the formation of the UGCC, where he's going to address a mini rally here at Sword Point. That will bring to an end the first part of today's program. The second part, we are told, will be a lecture to be delivered by the Speaker of Parliament, Professor Aaron Michael Quay, later this evening at the National Theatre at 6 p.m. So from here, it's been, singing and drumming inside the Wesley Cathedral, and then we can pick some few talks from Abu Jinapo, who is the Vice Chair of the Ghana CC. They've actually put together this particular program. Abu, welcome to Joy News Live.
Thank you very much, and very good afternoon to your cherished viewers.
Once again, we can walk through the significance of this day. For some of us, we're actually standing on a history. 70 years ago, some group of men, came together, and that led to the formation of UGCC, which led to the struggle for independence. We are here commemorating the day. What are the significance of this day?
Well, I think more significantly is the fact that the first time a political movement or a political party was put together to begin the struggle for independence took place right here in this beautiful town of Sorpon. And the first time, as I've said many, many times, when the Ghana of today, the particulars and ingredients of the Ghana of today were conceived and articulated, was on this same day 70 years ago, right here in this beautiful town of Sorpon, and right a minute away from here, the hall right here. That is where Power Grant, as chairman of the UGCC, J.B. Dankwa, Akwa J, Obichebi Lamte, and several others, R.S. Blay and several others congregated and conceived and articulated this Ghana, a democratic Ghana, a Ghana that adheres to the tenets of rule of law, a Ghana that adheres to democratic accountability, a liberal, open society, consistent with the respect for human rights and free speech, and all the things that we all cherish so much today. Right. This was right here that this kind of Ghana was conceived and articulated. And I think that is a very historic, momentous, and significant day. I'm very happy that we are commemorating it in the manner that we are today.
But going forward, indeed, even from the opening prayer, the man was categorical on the fact that we should create jobs. And that was also resonated in the sermon delivered by Most Reverend Asante. You are in the helm of affairs now, an offshoot of the UGCC. He also called on vigilante group to seize their operations. What is the way for him in terms of, delivering on the many promises you made together? Because ultimately, that's how you'll be measured.
That is the cardinal driving force behind this government. This government's objective and program is to first build the economy, and out of that create jobs, and out of that generate prosperity for the masses of our people. And every single step, every policy, every action by this government is being geared towards the realization of economic growth, prosperity, and job creation for the tens and hundreds and thousands and millions of our people. Take, for instance, the planting for food and jobs. That is all that is about, where we are deliberately targeting agriculture and boosting agriculture. As you know, in recent history, agricultural growth has been dipping and dipped even in the crop sector to negative growth. Okay. We want to revamp agriculture. We are pursuing our policy of one district, one factory, the policy of industrialization, and it's what is going to add value to our raw materials and ensure that we export goods outside Ghana and end the necessary foreign exchange and build our economy and generate prosperity and generate jobs. Take, for instance, yet again, the one village, one dam policy, the one district, one warehouse, and all the that's empower budget, the chucking out of nuisance taxes which should spare up productivity and create the conducive environment for the private sector to thrive and create a job. Every single thing that the government is doing is geared towards creating jobs.
But for your open, especially the CPB, some of them see this as an attempt to, rewrite history, denigrate the achievements of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah towards independence. Is that the purpose for this celebration?
Oh, but that cannot be. And I feel very sad when I hear those kinds of commentary. How does that denigrate Dr. Nkrumah's achievements or role in Ghanaian political history? How does celebrating 4th August being the date on which Aborigines Right Protest Society was founded and the Crown's Lands Bill Act of 1896 was defeated through the efforts of John Mensah, Sabah, Kingsley Hayford, de Graaf Johnson and co. Denigrate Dr. Nkrumah had as the formation of the UTCC. In any event, the UTCC itself was a platform on which Dr. Nkrumah came into politics in Ghana. So it cannot be that they are not mutually exclusive. They complement one another. We celebrated 6th March with Nkrumah's role in Ghana as the first president of our country. The president, independence president, is never been underestimated. The president himself has paid glowing tribute to him when he delivered his independence anniversary speech. There is nothing about denigrating Nkrumah in this. I think that we need to settle on the historical facts of our country. We can have differences of opinion, of inferences, of deductions. That, for me, is allowed. But truth be told, every major milestone of our country's history, political history, ought to be celebrated. We celebrated 28 February Crossroads, we celebrated 6th March, we celebrated July 1st. We are now celebrating 4th August, which significance I believe nobody can bring into dispute. Right. And I think that we need to unite as a country and forge ahead. There's no two ways about that.
Thank you very much. That's Deputy Chief of Staff, Mr. Bujina, who is also the co-chairman of the Ghana Assisi celebration. So right from the Wesley Cathedral Church, the next stop will be the very house where the founding fathers of the UGCC met. That led to the formation of the UGCC, which actually started the struggle for independence, where President Akufo-Addo is going to deliver his message commemorating the 70th anniversary of the UGCC. And already the place is clouded in MPP colors. We wait to hear what the president has to say regarding this particular event in the next few minutes, right from the Wesley Methodist Year here at Sword Pond.
Thank you very much, Elton Brobe. We'll touch base with you when the president is ready to speak. But Ghanaians are being urged to believe in themselves and not trust systems outside the country as solutions to the challenges here. These are part of advice of participants of this year's PanAfrican celebration ongoing in Cape Coast. Richard Kojunyako is one of the participants and has come through with this report.
2 years ago, together with Frafraha.
This year's Pan-African Festival got off to a very slow start amidst with complaints of low patronage. But all the cultural performances to ensure the celebration gets going have been done, albeit people from the diaspora poured in their numbers to reunite with their roots. Their call is for Africans to unite and believe in the systems and practices in Africa. To them, Africans are the best people to solve their own problems and not the reliance of a foreign aid. Dr. Omar Johnson, a clinical psychologist who lives in the U.S., is one of them.
We have to look at the role that we play. Also, as Pan-Africanists, we believe in what? Unapologetic self-determination. Unapologetic self-determination means whatever is to be done for African people must be done by African people. We are not children, we are not infants, we are not babies, and we don't need other people to hold our hands as we solve our problems. We can do it ourselves.
Chief Director of the Tourism and Creative Arts Ministry, Dr. Idi Barry Ziblim, called on Ghanaians to build bridges to uphold the dignity of the African.
Let emancipation be from all going on. We should build bridges among ourselves. We should unite. We should judge up. We should not be fighting, even if we are fighting ourselves. We must agree and disagree. But above all, let's unite as an African people. And now, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we gather to honor our departed ancestors, let us also remind ourselves of our common heritage and embrace with rare conviction the imperative of unity of all peoples of African descent and work together to uphold the honor and dignity of the black man. We have a responsibility to uphold the dignity of African men and women. We need to be aware of our history. We need to tell our story so that our young people will actually appreciate where we are coming from. People, anyone in this world who don't know your history and your culture, you are lost. Today in Sub-Saharan Africa, and particularly in our country, and in the way of life, our women are dressing, basically like Europeans. Our young people are wearing wigs all over. caricature. People who are black, born by black skin, are bleaching themselves. We cannot be talking about emancipation if we continue to go this way. We need to change our mindset and need to be proud of who we are.
Some participants spoke to Joy News.
The event was wonderful. I wish that more people, I'm from New York, and I wish more people from New York and the United States were here to witness this today. It was very inspirational, very touching, very moving, and you can feel the presence of all our ancestors. I am part of PanAfest team in the U.S., and we are working on taking PanAfest worldwide, just so that we can bring more people here to experience what we have.
The Omahini of Ogwa traditional area, Osaba Makwesiata II, performed rituals for the celebration of the festival. Richard Kwejenyako, Joy News, Cape Coast.
You're watching Joy News today. This will be a good time to introduce Becky, because she's standing by with the latest from the world of entertainment.